Five Nights at Freddy's is the king of the mascot horror genre. However, one mascot horror game that has grown in popularity in the last few years is Poppy Playtime, which features a wide variety of unique characters. But what if these characters were in the FNAF games? Well, in this video, that's what we are going to find out. I'll be going through all the Poppy Playtime characters and coming up with a hypothetical FNAF game to use them in. So with that, let's get into the video. So for starters, we have to figure out exactly which FNAF location that we're going to use to base our game off, since some offices and buildings are not ideal for what we are going for. Five Nights at Freddy's sister location is probably the best game to base Poppy Playtime off, since its somewhat free roam nature would fit the most naturally. However, let's look at our other options. FNAF 3 is the opposite, probably being the worst. Well, unless it was like a catnap game, which isn't a bad idea, actually. But anyways, let's actually challenge ourselves and hold off that idea. FNAF 4 will probably not work at all, since it probably wouldn't fit the vibe, and FNAF 1 is again just a bit too run down. This leaves us with either the Pizzaplex or FNAF 2. The Pizzaplex would make this just another Poppy Playtime game and not a unique FNAF inspired one. So let's base our game off the FNAF 2 location, since it's both somewhat new and it allows us to use the most characters. So welcome to the FNAF Poppy Playtime experience. So in Poppy Playtime, we have a wide variety of characters from the nearly 4 chapters. Keep in mind that I will be using chapter 4 characters, but only the ones that we know of at the time of the gameplay trailer, since I'm making this video before it comes out. So let's start with Huggy Wuggy, the first big bad of the Poppy Playtime crew. Huggy Wuggy is massive and has a really powerful presence, and he likes to crawl through vents, as seen in chapter 1. So let's make his mechanic related to the vents. In our hypothetical office, there will be 3 vents, the 2 side vents and 1 vent on the roof. Huggy Wuggy will bang in the vents when he's approaching, and you need to check which of the 3 vents he's coming from using the camera, and use the door buttons, which in this case will replace the light button, to block him out, otherwise he will get in and jump scare you. Mummy Longlegs is our next character, and for her mechanic, I want to take her section where you need to hide from her to make a new mechanic. So here's the idea. Mummy will be in the parts and service room, and eventually escape and make her way to your office. When you hear her moan down the hallway, you need to hide under the desk until you hear her leave, or else you will die. Now that we have our first 2 characters be based on sound, it's time to ditch sound cues as we move forward. Well, okay, one more character, please. Our next character is Bunzo Bunny, and for his mechanic, it's pretty simple. When you hear their symbols start crashing, click the flashing buttons present in your office, either blue, green, yellow, or red, and once you complete it, they will not show up again. That's the last sound character, I swear. Next up, we have PJ Pugapillow, who I actually have a really cool mechanic for. From time to time, the ambient music, which would be the one that plays in the PJ Pugapillow minigame, will stop playing, and when it does, the lights will turn off as well. The lights will flicker 3 seconds before they shut off. Once the music and light shuts off, PJ Pugapillow will be in the room, and you need to not move until the lights come back on, or else you will die. I really like this mechanic. Since PJ Pugapillow is one of the scarier characters for me, I think this mechanic would be really fun to try and time with everything else going on around you. But in terms of the scariest character, we have to go to our next character, Catnap. Catnap is probably my favourite of the Poppy Playtime characters. Something about their design and the simplicity as well as the complete lack of emotion really sells this character as the scariest of the bunch. But for what the mechanic should be, I think I have a really cool idea. So Catnap has a habit of using this red mist to make you hallucinate, so I thought that we could work in a mechanic around that. So here's the idea. Catnap will walk around the building and sometimes enter the hallway in front of you, with red mist covering the hallway to show they are there. If they are there, you need to shut the grated door for the hallway. If Catnap was there, he will leave. However, there's a chance that you can get a fake Catnap, and that's why you need to check the camera. If you shut the door when Catnap isn't there, then he will dash to the door and break it. However, he won't kill you, and instead just leave you completely defenseless. Catnap is also the only character who can be blocked by the Great Door. I think this will create a lot of tension and require you to know where Catnap is at all times so you don't get fooled. Or you can just check the cameras quickly since he would have like a 10-second timer before he kills you regardless if he's there. Obviously, if he's not there, the smoke will vanish too. Kinda like how your dad vanished from your life. Anyways, if you're enjoying the video so far, please subscribe. I'm personally thanking all my subscribers at 100k. But anyways, let's move on to our next character. Mr. Light is probably my least favorite character, and that's just because of how human she is, but she does have a cool mechanic we can work with. So here's the idea. Mr. Light will start on her show stage and slowly make her way to your office. You need to track her on the camera and watch her. The longer that you don't look at her, the closer that she will get to the office. If she makes it to your hallway, she will progress down the hall with every cam flip until she's in your office, in which case you will just straight up die. This will really give the cameras a use and basically make her a Foxy kind of character. Next we have the little smiling critters, who I think would be very simple. The smiling critters will move throughout the building as a pack and attempt to get into your office through the vents like Huggy. If they get in, they will permanently hug your screen like the mini Renas and make it very hard to see everything in your office. However, they won't kill you. But this will become a problem, especially paired with our next character. Now, Dog Day is probably my favourite character outside of Catnap, and that's because of the awesome visual of him hanging from the ceiling. And with this, I want to make this part of their mechanic. So here's the idea. Dog Day will be hanging from the ceiling in your office, and from time to time, he will wake up and you need to put the mask on, and which will be a Playtime co-mask of Huggy probably, I don't know. You need to leave this on until he goes back to sleep, and you'll have a 1 to 5 second window depending on their AI, which would make the office not even feel safe since we got this super creepy statue in the room which can wake up and kill you. And now we have the Chapter 4 characters, which I don't know what they are like in the actual game since this video isn't being made after the game, but I'll come up with ideas that are actually pretty cool. So starting with Baba Chops, they are very similar to the smiling critters in terms of design. However, we can definitely make them a bit more interesting to be sure. So since they seem to be like an ambush type predator in the game, I thought it would be cool if sometimes they will peek their head out of one of the 3 vents, and you need to click on them before a camera flip in order to scare them away. This is a very simple mechanic that would actually force you to keep your attention on everything and not just ignore the vents in the room. I mean, could you imagine if he got killed by this guy? Yanabe is the next character, and from what I've seen, they are pretty big, or tiny. Anyways, I think we should just make this character super simple, making them act like a normal FNAF 2 character, where they walk around the building and once they enter your office, you need to either put the mask on or not. Now basically, here's the idea. If their mouth is closed, just look at him and don't put the mask on. If it's open, put the mask on. It's a simple idea, but I don't want to make this game too complicated since we still have 2 characters left. The Doctor is the last of the Chapter 4 characters that I will be including in this video. But maybe I'll make a sequel for this video if it gets 10,000 likes. Anyways, so the Doctor is, in my eyes at least, meant to be a virus of some kind, rather than a physical threat. So I thought it would be cool if they were a camera-only threat. Sort of. Anyway, so since the Doctor also has like this physical form from the gameplay trailer, here's the idea. On the opposite side of the office to Dog Day, there is a Doctor statue, and from time to time, the statue will start freaking out, and you have like 10 seconds to find the Doctor's eye on the camera and watch it for 3 seconds in order to scare him off. This would probably be a night 5 only challenge on top of everything else, but for our last character, I think we should make them only appear on night 6, and I guess the custom night. And that's the Prototype. The Prototype is the most mysterious of all the characters, and for them, I think a simple mechanic would work well for them, where the hand will be on one of the cameras and you need to click off that camera within 1 to 3 seconds, or else the Prototype will permanently disable that camera. A simple yet effective ad. I mean, imagine not being able to see Catnap or Mr. Light. It would actually be insane. But with that, we have covered every single character from Poppy Playtime in this FNAF game of ours. Let me know any of your ideas you have in the comments below. I would love to see someone try and make this game, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Or you can look at one of these other videos. Anyways, bye.